24 hours we hit in a row. Tonight at the very last show.
We ready, body roll.
We ready? Come on, we ready. We ready. We ready. Ready. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, there it is. All right.
We ready. Ready. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, I got it. All right, you got that? You got that, right?
Well, you
All
send
right.
the link.
All right, with some technical difficulties, we live now. My apologies, everybody. Hit the link right
All
there, right now.
right.
All right, y'all sending it out to the few people y'all want to send it out to right now?
Yeah.
Mm. Wait, what?
What, bro?
No, it says I just saw a post about a woman, a woman accused a man of kidnapping some kid, her daughter in Walmart, but video showed that he never touched her. Yo, women gotta go start going to jail for these fake accusations, bro.
That ass.
That shit is kind of crazy because once you do that, you ruin that man's life, and then nothing happens to you for lying. Like I don't understand how that works. That shit don't make no sense.
Bro.
That's like if I
Accusation alone ruins his life, bro. It's not. It doesn't even. I mean, it doesn't even matter that nothing
That's
happened.
more than ruining a life.
It's just ruined. It just that's crazy, man.
But how is that allowed? Like I don't get it.
It is the atmosphere in which we live in at the moment, bro. Currently, I mean, it's been so long of just women being silent about these toxic situations that they've been in, and now we're just trying to catch up to trying to believe every female that says hey this guy did inappropriate things to me, whether or not it's vindictive, manipulative or not, but you kind of have to funnel through them because you don't want to say don't believe women when they say these things, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you got to thoroughly investigate when a woman says this stuff, not just because you don't believe them, but it just you gotta protect both parties, man. Both parties should be protected here. Like whenever accusation as dire as sexual abuse or something like that happens, bro. It just both parties have to be protected until somebody's proven to be guilty.
I hear that. I hear that. All right. Well, anyway, I set this out. So it's another episode. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. But I do want to jump into this. As you know, we trying to stay on the time schedule. Yeah, we got 20 minutes, but whoever can stay, whoever can stay, y'all stay. Whoever can't, y'all can't. You know what I mean? It is what it is. All right. So I want to say it's your boy MX Rich. I'm here with my boy Black and my boy Jay.
It was good.
And this Keep in Mind podcast. All right. You know what I mean? So anyway, today is another day. I know y'all got plenty going on in y'all lives. I just want to say shout out to y'all, and if Hope everything's going good with y'all. If there's anything that's not going good with y'all, let us know. But if not, let's.
Nah,
About it.
But if
not
not,
too
let's.
much bad. Not too much bad news.
All right. I see you got your Knicks. I see you got your Knicks clothes on. So Knicks.
Oh, you
Knicks.
know what the vibe is. Shout out to my Knicks.
How they looking right now? How they looking right now?
We down. It's halftime, but it ain't nothing. I ain't worried about it.
Okay. Okay. All right. I hear that. I hear that.
You know,
Jerry has the dad life.
dad life is good, man. I mean, chilling. These kids is finally going back to school tomorrow. Thank the heavens.
Mr. RGP said, "Go Knicks." Mr. RGP, make sure you send this out to a few of your peoples. All right, man.
It's always go Knicks.
Always.
Yeah. Word.
But yeah, so I'm hyped, man. If I finally get to send them off, please.
All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to talk about. I know that there's a lot going on. Traci Ellis Ross right now is being flandangled. You know what I mean? Flame broiled.
Flambade.
You know what I mean? Flambade. Yeah, word. Cause
It is crazy.
I mean, there's a lot going on with her, from what I know. Like, she was recently on the Michelle Obama podcast. You know what I mean? That's crazy that we have a first lady, a former first lady, with her own podcast. Podcasts are clearly taking over.
Her and her brother. Too.
Yeah.
It's not even like her and him. It's her and her brother.
It's her brother. And they tried to say that, you know, us doing these podcasts is a problem, but I guess when, you know, the first lady does it, it's not.
Wait. They said there was a problem with people doing podcasts?
Well, you know, you remember when it was like, yo, enough with these men and these mics, and take the mics away, and
You know
there was a whole hating on podcasters, bro, for a while actually, especially with, you know, like as many that's been coming out in the recent years or whatever. But you know, obviously we have a need for it because there's still topics to discuss and things to give your opinion on. So.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Black, how did you feel about the interview? Anything in particular that stood out to you?
Yeah, you know, the thing that stood out to me most was the topic that we spoke about. Whereas she was saying that, you know, as a single older woman, she likes to date like younger men. Like she didn't specify an age, but she just said younger men. And she said the reason why is because the men and from her generation are very toxic. She said like older men are very toxic, right? And you know, and I was looking, and a lot of women were like bigging her up, like championing her, like, oh yeah, that's dope, that's so cool. But I remember when Trick Daddy said something very similar to that. He said he likes to date younger women because they're not. I think he said, I don't know exactly. I want to say he said they're not stubborn, like, you know, they're not like stuck in their ways, like, you know, the younger woman that he was getting dragged to talk about, that's disgusting, and he's trying to mold young girls and shit like that. So I want to know, like, why is that such a big difference? Like, what's the difference in that from what Trick Daddy said to what Traci Ellis was, and why are the reactions so different? Why do you think the reactions are so different?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I genuinely feel like, one, when I said this, when I brought up this topic to my shorty, she told me that that's not true, and that Michelle Obama got dragged too as well, from what I heard. You know what I mean? So I don't know how true that is. That
She got dragged out.
Like in the comments, they was getting at her in the comments. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Like they wasn't jacking that she was okay, that she was saying she goes after younger men. They were, you know what I mean? So, but there are, I'm sure, just as much comments that was against it. There were plenty of comments that were for it. So just to speak to your question, Black, I genuinely feel like anything that a man does can be seen as predatory, especially when it comes to the way the world is now, and it's like anything a man does is like, oh, he's being a predator, and it's like, no, I'm really not. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. So you think is that a fair take? Like, why is that? Why is it that? Like, what makes it that? What makes everything we do always have to be predatory? Like,
I mean, I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words.
I don't know. Like,
Obvious. Jesus.
Yeah,
I always think about that. Like, Because that's something simple. Like I feel like if that's I feel like that's like a preference thing. Like I don't feel like she's wrong for saying that she wants to date younger men. You know what I'm
Natasha,
saying? And I don't feel like
go ahead,
and
go
I
ahead.
don't feel like a older guy saying he wanted, as long as it's not like, you can't, don't tell me you 60-year-old and you trying to look for a 12-year-old girl or something like some, like that, like nothing crazy
Well,
like
that's
that.
legal, but
Like be respectable. Like if you're 60 and you want to be with a 25 or even a 30-year-old, because if you're 60 and you want to be with a 30-year-old, that's really a younger girl. You
Natasha
know what I'm
Rod-
saying?
Natasha Rodriguez said both men and women can be predators. Mr. RGP said women can be predators too. That was a predatory statement. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Women can be predators. Women can be
Uh-huh.
predators, but that's not what's portrayed in social media or on TV like that. Which is why
Facts.
once a man states that they want to date a younger woman, which would make sense, is like if I'm an older man and I done made it in life and I don't like you know what I mean? Like I got all this money to be able to take care of somebody and all of that different stuff. Why would I want to go deal with a battle hearted with all those battle scars?
That's crazy. This nigga said battle hardened. That is nuts.
Yo, hot take.
No,
And as he drinks from a red cup, after saying something like that.
watch it,
Listen,
Rich.
Yeah, battle hardened is
Yeah.
nuts.
Wait, baby. Wait. Natasha Rodriguez said, "Watch it, Rich, or you'll sleep with one eye open."
Yo,
Like, listen.
go ahead, Rich.
Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I honestly feel like this is where the double standard kind of plays against us, because it's okay, it's perfectly fine for a woman to say that they could date somebody that's much younger than they are. No one bats an eye. But if a dude says it, it's kind of like how young are we talking? And it's just that it doesn't work for us in that aspect when it comes to society. It's not as accepted for older man to be, with a young woman, or at least to openly say that they would rather date a younger woman, because it seems to be an issue every time. But I mean, I don't see anything really wrong with what she said necessarily. Again, I wanted to ask why too, because I think on the podcast, while she was saying that, she mentioned that Michelle's husband, which is our former president Barack Obama, said, "Why do you like to date younger men?" And she said, "Because I can." And I was just like that's not even like, what I mean, that's not even trying to explain the reason why it is that you are dating younger men. You could say, yeah, they're less toxic or whatever may have you, but just because you can, that doesn't really make sense, because I can't just date a person. Not that I'm in that world, but I'm saying, like, if I was her age and I'm dating somebody much younger than I am, and I just say because I can, it just wouldn't work out well for me. So,
I also feel like she's able to say,
double
because
standard.
I feel like she's able to say, "Oh, because I can," because of who she is. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of older women, and because of her, everybody knows she got a big butt and everything like that. But like,
Mhm.
but like,
Right.
a lot of a lot of older women don't have that option to date younger men. You know what I mean? A lot of older women is like, ain't no man, ain't nobody checking for them like that. You feel what I'm saying?
I think I disagree with you there, Rich. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you, man. Honestly, I think older women. I mean, this is what part of
The,
the complex like we
the
have in society right now. That's a problem. The younger women who are like of age to date these young men are in competition with these older women who are coming after these young men too, and they know better. They have more experience, so they're able to snatch up these young men a lot quicker than a young lady that is age appropriate are able to. So I feel like that's, there's,
yeah,
I don't know the problem for older women to like snatch up whichever scale they want to go. They want to go with men their age, fine. They want to go with younger men, fine. They'll find somebody.
Rich, think about 25-year-old you. You would have snatched up a regular 40-year-old John. Like, she
Easy.
didn't have to be like Tracy
45,
Ellis.
50.
As long as she had like a little nice little booty, drove an Ultima,
can I
CNA job, you was hitting that.
can
Cook
I
you
ask?
some dinner after she smashed?
Hold on,
What?
hold on.
Huh?
Natasha Rodriguez said that's not true. Young men do check for older women, and once again, what kind like every older woman does not look like that. Y'all talking about older women. Y'all talking about older women. There's certain older women that people will check for. Like I said, if you got a body like Traci Ellis Ross, you got money, you got money. But if you say you don't have money and you don't got a body like Traci Ellis Ross and you look your age, who's checking for you? Exactly.
I think there's plenty checking for you, especially since these women have been in relationships. These women have been in marriages. These women have been in these situations in which they know how to woo and keep a younger man in their house a lot better than the ladies that are their age, these young men's ages, bro. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter if you don't look like Traci Ellis Ross, man. As long as you could cook a mean meal and you could suck some good dick, you are good to
that shit. Shit, that'll make.
All right, that's you talking about after they already done got the kid at the home and all that. I'm talking about the dudes approaching them. If you don't look, matter of fact, we getting off topic. Listen,
Yeah,
we getting off topic. Yeah, all right. I genuinely think that the whole it shouldn't be frowned upon unless it's on some predatory shit where it's like this person has no experience. If she wants to date younger men and these men are like experienced young men in their mid 20s or whatever, I don't see there's nothing wrong with it. It's different if she's in her 50s trying to go after 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 19-year-olds and preying upon them, going after them, kind of like that chick Lily Phillips who's been doing that whole 1,000-man smash and she goes to colleges and picks up like freshmen. Craziness. We talk about that some other time. But outside of that, I think the same thing for men. If a grown man wants to talk to a woman who's of age, and I don't mean just because she's in college, I mean like over 25 or whatever, and you want to holler and everything like that, I think that should be. Oh, Mr. RGP said half your age plus 7. Can y'all see the comments by the way, y'all too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Natasha said she's a predator. You think she's a predator? Natasha, you think she's a predator for trying to holler at kids in their mid-20s?
I was like, yo, she called herself a predator.
No. Natasha said that Traci's a Natasha said that Lily chick is a predator. Yes, she's a predator, 100%. Lily's a predator. What's it called? But how do y'all feel about that half your age plus 7? That y'all agree with that?
I mean, I did it for myself, and I was like, I think it came to like 20. I'm 37. Plus, yeah, it came up to like 22 or 23 for me. I was like, no way. Like, I don't have my age plus 7 doesn't work for me. Me personally, I don't know. I can't.
What's that? What's half of 37?
I mean, 16, right?
No.
I mean, 16 and a half, nigga. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
No, 17. You're 37. 17 plus 17 is 34. So clearly, it's more than 16, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm bugging.
What? Like, if anything, 18 plus 7. 18 plus 7. 18 plus 7 would be like 26.
26 still for me at this age. I don't think, me personally, bro, I don't think a girl 26 years of age has enough experience to be able to match what I need out of a woman at my point in life. But that's just me. I don't, you know what I mean? That it could work differently for other people, but that's just me. I don't think that I would be going for anything. If I wasn't married and I was still dating the dating world, I wouldn't go for anything under 30. I'm not going to lie.
Black, what about you? Black, what about you?
Yeah, it gotta be over like, I say like late 20s into the 30s, if anything. Like, it can't be like no 24, 25, 26. That's getting too young.
At our age, I'll say this, and not, I'll say this, like, I genuinely feel like, because I worked at jobs where older gentlemen were smashing young women. I think your environment, your occupation, like where you spend most of your day will dictate that a lot more than people are saying about their morals and all that. When you're working in a job that's very high schooly, like when I used to work at UCP or whatnot, right? Like, there were older men smashing kids fresh out of high school because those younger women wanted to have those experiences. And I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean? And as much as guys, Black, sit up a little bit. as much as guys, as much
No,
as
that's a
guys,
fact. It really was though.
yeah, as much as guys try to say these numbers and everything, and we try to live by that, but once you're in a certain setting and that's your everyday and everybody's doing that and everything like that, I feel like men tend to like in Jerry, you're a married man, so you don't have to worry about that. We're all in relationships, but I feel as though if depending on where we were in our lives and where we were working and what's around us on a regular basis, I feel like those answers may be very different. That's just my opinion.
And I can agree with that. I honestly, think it is based on it's a situation by situation basis, but like generally speaking, I think women are allowed to get away a lot easier with the dating half their age, dating young men. I guess in society when they're like explaining it or talking to their friends about it or telling people about it, it is way more accepted than it would be for a guy. But that's just a double standard. That's just the double standard of the society in which we live in. It I don't know, depending on who you are, it sucks, right? But again, for me, I'm like, listen, I would never even go for that, even if it was accepted. I just wouldn't go for half my age plus seven. So it's just, and that's based on experience. I'd rather deal with somebody who's a little bit more experienced than what I feel like you are, where you are in life at that age.
Mm-hmm. All right, I respect that. I respect that. Cloud Jones said earlier. He said, 24 isn't an adult. Is it not an adult? Are they an adult at
Full
24?
grown adult.
Huh?
Full grown adult.
So
I tell them full grown adult, but I can talk to a 24-year-old and I'm gonna be able to tell the motherfucker's a 24-year-old. It's just based on the things that they're gonna be talking about, the things that they're interested in, what they have knowledge on, the experience of their experience on relationships. I'm just not gonna be turned on by that. That's not gonna be something that really could last as far as like me seeing myself with this person long term. So
right.
That's what it is. They could be an adult, yes, but they're not an experienced adult.
Okay. I mean. Well. I agree, and maybe now I feel like there's a whole difference to this conversation if we're talking about being in a serious relationship with these people or just having fun with these people. Because if you're just having fun, you can't sleep with a 24-year-old, Jerry.
I mean, if you're just having fun, yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's that's where I think the whole half your age plus seven would come into play as far as like keeping me safe. Like I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to keep it at this half my age plus seven and up. Like I'm not gonna go anywhere below that just to kind of keep myself safe. But again, at this age, or let me ask you guys, fellas, actually, better yet, would you think that you, after the tender ages that you are right now, you'd be dating just to have fun, or would you be looking for a little something that could last a little?
I mean, all right. To answer your question, someone like Traci Ellis Ross, she may be looking for a long-term partner, but she's not having kids anymore. So in all reality, any situation, if it goes left, she could say, "Hey, I'm just having fun anyway," because of the fact that she, you know what I mean. Unless she's like saying, "I'm looking for marriage." Any situation could be fun for her now, because nothing can lead to her having children and having a long-term situation outside of marriage. You know what I mean? But before we continue, I do want to read some more comments. Xavier said younger women are more impressionable, which does connect to the idea of why older men would want to date a younger woman. Even seriously, they may not have much in common, but he can mold her because she's more impressionable. Cloud Jones said age doesn't determine intelligence or manipulation skill. There are young women that prey on older men. That's a fact. Mr. RGP said, I feel you're seeing female. I feel you. You're seeing more female teachers doing this. Cloud Jones said, some 40-year-olds aren't adults mentally. Age doesn't always determine maturity. What if a 25-year-old had 30 bodies and she dating a 35-year-old with only 3 bodies? Who has more experience? Ooh, he's not young. He getting at everything you said, Jerry. Natasha Rodriguez said, if you're 40, if you're 40 and haven't matured, that's a problem. Young Sensation 32 says, Diana Ross took a young Michael for a ride. LOL. I think more older women should date younger niggas and put them onto game. How do y'all feel about that? Look at
I mean,
Black. Look at Black.
nah, but that goes back to last week. Hold on, that goes back to last week when Bow Wow was talking about Superhead. Like,
Yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
was saying, he said she told this man how to do laundry. Like, she put him on to game. Like, he said he can't go to the laundromat without thinking about her now. Like,
That's a fact. By the
that's
way,
the truth. That might be true.
everybody in the chat, make sure you hit the like, please. Please hit the like button. Send this out to a few of your friends. We'd really appreciate it. If anything, hit the like button. You know what I mean? I only see one like. Get the likes up. Come on, please get the likes up.
Please, thank you.
You know what I mean?
No, listen. I can understand where Clout is coming from.
Ooh.
I do believe that he's spitting pure facts. Again, I only could speak from my own experience, my own spot, and I tell everybody that I'm not saying that I'm the most experienced and that I have this, this idea of being, mature, but I do know what I want. And if I'm a 37-year-old man who knows what he wants and I can clearly convey that, that want to somebody, I'm saying to myself that, hey, what I'm based on what I'm going to be looking for and asking for in my partner, I don't think that a person who is half my age plus 7 is going to be able to provide that. Now, of course, I can be proven wrong, of course, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be looking like if I was in this situation right now. It doesn't mean I would be looking. I wouldn't be in the clubs. I wouldn't be. You get what I'm saying? I'd probably be at a fucking, you know what I mean, like at a book signing somewhere. like you know what I mean, like. Based on where I'm gonna be, based on what I'm gonna be looking for, is going to, attract. I'm gonna attract what I want, and and young girls are not hanging out at the places I would be looking for a potential partner. Is all I'm saying.
I get you. And Jerry, if you're pretty much just to sum it up, what you're saying pretty much is your personal preference is to not do that. Pretty much, we get it. But however, now that's your personal preference. Quick question.
That's all I can say.
Quick question for you.
That's all you can talk about.
Do you look down on others who do not engage in the same practices as you?
No, absolutely not. Because
you don't pass judgment or nothing.
All is fair in love and war, man. Listen, I want you to find something that fits you. And that's the whole point of this whole situation. If it is that you are looking for a partner or you're just having fun, you have to establish that. Make that your point. Understand what it is that you're in the game for before you try to play, or else you're gonna be lost.
Cloud Jones asked a really good question, and before you answer, Jerry, I want Black to answer. Black, Cloud Jones said, imagine you connected with a very mature woman and y'all had everything in common, then later find out she's 25. Are you going to disqualify her for that? I sounded like KG just not disqualified. No, you're not. Jerry, same question, because all the things you said had a lot to do with having things in common and all that. Same scenario that Cloud Jones said, right? Imagine you connected with a very mature woman, but you come to find out she's 25. Is she disqualified?
Bro, I go to a sip and paint, and I'm single, and I connect with a lady. I don't know her age. She got everything in common with me. I find out she's 25. I'm gonna move forward, definitely. But I'm just, like I said, she was at a spot that I wouldn't normally catch the people with the mindsets that I'm not looking for. So that's all. You know what I mean? Like,
so
obviously,
Jerry, that was a lot of running around the bush. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Anyway, to remain on this Traci Ellis thing, what was the other thing? Something that Traci Ellis mentioned was just to finish that last point. Cloud Jones said, so it's more about the connection than the age specifically.
Yes, basically.
As long as she's of age, if she connects, yes, of course that matters. Yes,
because if she's 19, I don't care how much we connect.
Okay, I hear you.
You said that she's what?
If she's 19 and I connect with her and she's cool, I'm sorry, ma'am. Go get yourself a nice little 30-year-old man, bro.
Hold on. 19 is an adult though, is it not?
19 is an adult, but 19 is not for me, my boy. That's all.
So same scenario. You find out she's 19.
Same scenario. You are 19. That is not the half plus 7 that I have to go by, bro.
Hold on.
Watch to the
Watch
third
it
said 19 with
with
the
an
old
old
soul.
soul. Exactly.
Not old enough for me.
Yeah. Yo, by the way, everybody in the chat, I only see 2 likes. We got 12 people in here. Hit the damn like button. What's it called?
Not me.
Also, shout out to Watch to the Third. We appreciate you joining in. Natasha Rodriguez says 19 years old, they can't even drink, but they can buy a gun and go to war.
Talk your talk. Listen, talk. And that's
but
the.
They can't drink. Like you can't even take her on a date.
You can take her on a date and have some juice.
Yeah.
It's not working.
You gotta have a mocktail.
I'm sorry. I don't care if you're 19 with a more mature brain than me. I can't do it. I just can't. It's a no for me.
See, Cloud Jones said they could pay rent. Watch to the Third said you gotta leave her in the parking lot when you go get your drinks. All right, listen. All right, just to move on. To stay on this Traci Ellis thing, something that I had brought up, and I'm glad that Black also made me realize that that they brought it up in the Michelle Obama podcast as well. Traci Ellis Ross spoke about the grief that she experiences at her age for never having children. Now, for the women that are in the chat, we want to know, like, if you're not a mother or if you are a mother, do you think if you did not have children that you would have suffered some type of grief? Like, you know what I mean? Because I like the people who consciously make the choice not to have children, they probably don't experience any grief because that's what they wanted, correct? I would assume so, right?
I would.
All right, now, so my real question is, do men experience any grief for when they don't decide to have children before a certain age? Yes, I know that most men, God willing, are able to have children up until the day that they die, pretty much, correct? That is.
What I understand. Listen, if what was it, Robert De Niro? Was it Robert De Niro or Al Pacino?
Nah, yeah, you can have kids. Niggas is 80-year-old.
He's 80 years old, busting it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
so
you can still, bro.
So all right. So as long as you're healthy, you can have children. I do hear, but by the way, I do hear the older you are as a man and have a child, the more likelihood that child might have birth defects. Or
of course,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Your sperm is weak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your shit ain't gonna be shooting like how it's shooting.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Not top notch. It's not top notch.
It's not. There you go. It's not top notch. You know what I mean? So now,
for young swimmers.
So now, like, I want to know, like, do men, like, because I feel like if you have children by the time you're 40 or 40, I would say 45 the latest, you're going to be 65 when your kid turns 20. You know what I mean? You're going to be an old man. So do men...
65 is old, but I get what you're saying.
You can't, I mean, when they're 15, you'll be 50. When they're 15, you'll be 60. You can barely play ball with them.
Bro, that's not true.
60 playing ball. But I understand what you're trying to say.
I understand what you're trying to say, but I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying.
Black.
So yeah, what's the question? So yeah.
Do men experience Black at your age at 37 years old?
Yeah.
You have no children.
No.
Is that a decision that you made for yourself? Like
no. In the beginning it was. Like I wish I would have just handled it when I was younger, but I always knew what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted it to be in the family setting. And and then like when you're younger, you're like, well, no, I'm not gonna have it. But then as you get older now, time starts to go by, and then your friends are having kids, and you got your little nieces and your nephews, especially if you're a person that wants children, like it does. I don't know if the word is like grief, but it's just like sometimes it's just like.
Is it a fear of missing out? FOMO?
You wish you had those experiences. You know what I mean? You do. You want those experiences as well. You know what I'm saying? For yourself, like for sure. 100%. I wouldn't call it like a grief though. It's more of like a, what's the word? I don't know exactly what the word is.
Missed opportunity.
Cloud Jones said, yeah, then you caught your money. then you remember you can get sleep.
Yeah, but like you see, like that's what I'm saying. Like you see, like a person like
Black,
me,
move
like,
over to the left a little bit.
Like a person like me, like I even want those annoyances. Like you know what I mean? Like I want to experience those annoyances too. Like, you know, I want that whole like me personally. Like, I feel like some people really don't give a fuck if they have kids or not. Like, it doesn't. Like, even like those things, I want to be annoyed by my kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so like even when Rich, like, you know, yesterday when me and Rich was doing this shit, and like, you know, he had Donnie and shit, and Donnie was yelling, like shit like that, like even shit like that, I want the annoying part too. Like, I want the full experience of that shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do think about that shit, but it's not like a regret not having a kid yet. It's just more so like something that I wish I did. I do still want to experience for sure.
Now, before we move on, Black, I want to know, do you think that you will have, if you never have children, you will have missed out?
Um, Nah, cause you know, like I got, like I said, like I got all my nieces, all my nephews. They're not my children per se, but like, you know, I've raised them. I wouldn't feel like I missed out. I just feel like it's just something that I just want. I would want.
Hmm.
Like, you know, it's not a miss out thing, cause it's not like I don't know. A miss out is like, I feel like that's like I'll be holding up for a trophy. Like, hey, I got one too, guys. Like, you know, that's like that's not what it would be, you know. So
I get you. I get you. Now, I respect that, Black. I
yeah,
genuinely, I've always, as someone who's new to having, I'm a brand new father, as you know, and I was in the same boat as you. And I often started saying that I felt like I didn't want to have kids, just because of the fact that I didn't have any. I don't know if that would necessarily was how I felt, but
right.
because I didn't have any, and I was getting older and older, I don't know if that kind of took over for me, and it was like, I don't want any kids. You know what I mean? But now that I got a kid, like you said, I love dealing with the annoyances. Yes, sometimes he can be more annoying than I expected. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Sometimes there's those times where I'm like, oh my God, just shut up. You know what I mean? And then Tasha will be like, don't talk to him that way. I'm like, Jerry, you know how it is, right? Jerry, you know, yo.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like even those things, like I want that. Like it's cool still. Like he
Bro,
annoyed me for a reason. Like, you know.
I will say that. I mean, and you know, out of everybody here, I'm pretty sure I got everybody beat with 4 children of my
Yeah,
own.
I think.
Uh, but I will say this. I will say that I really didn't think about children necessarily, having children until I met and started planning and having an idea of my future with my current wife. So it's just like something that, you know, you kind of start thinking about when the time is right, I guess, for it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not really necessarily something that I've always wanted. It wasn't something that I even really ever thought about. But as soon as I, you know, met my wife and I was like involved with, you know, with her, and I started making plans for my life, that's when I started going, yo, like I see myself being a father. I see myself working with this person on raising children, and I wanted that. That's kind of what made me want it. So, you know, it's not necessarily something that we as men like just think about or want to do since we're kids kind of deal. Some women I know have told me that that's something that they wanted since they were children. But for me, it's like, you know, once you have a plan and you have an idea of how you want to be in a relationship and who you have with you, because it's very important as to who you have this child with too. So, you know, I'm seeing that in the comments that it's very important to make
Black,
that
Black,
decision.
don't laugh at her stupidity, yo. Don't laugh
Yeah,
at
Yo,
her
that's what I'm
stupidity.
laughing.
Don't laugh at her
you
stupidity.
gotta do it with the right person. The right person will make you think about having children.
That's a
Point
fact.
blank. Period. You know,
That's a fact,
when
Jerry.
you are with when you're with your person, you definitely start thinking about that.
Nah, that's a fact, Jerry. Jerry, like, I would say, like, I've definitely